Hello, and welcome to our very first episode on Java Boom. I'm your host, Gyuri Veznyuk, and today I'm going to show you my first lesson on how to build a simple Java application. We're going to show you some simple text that are going to be outputted to the screen, and show you how to do it via integrated development environment and via command line. So let's get started. So before we start, be sure you have your Java development kits set up. You can either download the Oracle or the open source version. In my case, I'm using OpenJDK 11. You can also download it yourself. It's more than enough for all these lessons that I'm going to show you. So let's get started. So I already created a new project under Intellij. So all we need right now is just to create a package. You don't necessarily need a package, but a package is just a way to organize. It's a collection of classes. So I'm going to create a com, which is for common. And let's create our first Java class. We can name it main. And here you go, here's the template. It's under com package, and it's a public class called main. Now you can ask, can a class be private? And the answer is yes. This is useful in cases where you have inner classes inside other classes. We can talk about this later on, but for now, we're going to use all our classes are going to be public. Now we have to create our main method, and it's going to be public, which means it will be visible to the other classes. Static, which means this method will be visible at the class level. Void, meaning it will return nothing, and the name main, and it will pass an array of strings called args. And our first line of code will be systemout.println, and we'll provide some literal text, hello world, and semicolon. And there you have it. Let's execute it, build it, and execute it. And there you have it. It outputted hello world. Now, you're asking yourself, what's the use of these args? Now, these are program arguments you can pass. So for instance, if you want to pass hello world as a parameter, you can do that as well. Let's do this, args. But you have to set up your command line arguments right here. If you open up your run configuration, and do hello world, apply, okay, and let's see what happens. Build it, and we get this gibberish. Now what's happening here? That's because Java stores objects and in the location in addresses in heap memory. We'll get later on, but I can explain this later. But this is just an address located in heap memory. That's because we're sending the entire string array. If you're not sure what a string array is, but think of it as a list of objects. In this case, a list of strings. The only difference between a list and an array from a Java perspective is an array is restricted. You cannot expand it. An array, but in a list, as a collection, it's dynamic. You can add as many items as you want. So as you can see, it's sending you back the actual address and not the actual value, which should be hello world. So, but to do that, we use open and close brackets, and we pick the first item that is on the list, And our list always starts at 0. We index at 0. Just keep in mind. So let's try this again. Build and run. And we have hello. If we want the second word, we do args1. The second item, and we have hello world. So there you have it. We built our first Java application, hello world. Now, so in our second part of this lesson is to build and run this in our terminal window now. So let me show you. So we get to our directory where we have the main class, as you can see. Should be here. And all we have to do is do javac and main. And it will be compiled into bytecode. Technically, this is not a compiler. Java is considered an interpret language which translates one language to another. So it's not a machine language like our older brothers C and C++. So keep that in mind. So once we have the bytecode, all we have to do is execute it by calling java and main. And there you go. We executed our first Java application via terminal. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Until next time, take care.